So again, pulling out the laws and whatnot to back up some of the information that I'm saying. And again, for those of you that say that the codes do not apply, they apply to you if you're still documented on the record as a United States citizen. They apply to you if you still have a birth certificate. They apply to you if you're still navigating and traveling with the driver's license. They apply to you if you're still getting a disability or a Social Security check, which comes from the Department of Treasury, again, dealing with commerce and whatnot. They apply to you if you have a position at a state of entities corporation, because remember, these corporations that are in these states are also deemed as citizens. So this is where your allegiance is to. If you're an employee, you are a subject, and therefore your allegiance would be to that corporation and to the state which that corporation is a citizen of. And most likely, they're probably taking taxes from you. But if you are in your proper status and you have expatriated, then again, you will know how to go in and apply for a position and use certain documents and use certain forms to know how to have that type of position in your status. And because you fall under the protection of the Treaty of 1786, then you will know that you are exempt from being taxed. But since we don't, since we're not doing these types of things, there's a conflict. So therefore, we want to cut and paste and say, well, we're tax exempt. I need the forms for the tax exemption. I got a ticket. I need to know, how do I get out of this ticket situation? Everything doesn't exist in a vacuum. This is a holistic process. And the bottom line is that we are Moors. And in the Declaration of Independence in 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when the course of human events, it stated that it became necessary for the people to dissolve the political bands which have been connected, that connected them to another. Among the powers of the earth, they had to separate. The language is the same thing. The 13 colonies had to dissolve their political relationship with England. We've got to dissolve our political relationship with the United States of America. That's the only way that we are going to be in our true capacities as Moors. Now, when I say that we are in conflict, we're in conflict because, again, we have the highest status in the land, yet we continue to want to subject ourselves to the United States. Then we try to invoke the Constitution, because the Constitution states that in Article 6, all debts contracted and engagements entered to before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. The Confederation is the United States of America. So the treaty falls underneath that part of the article, and it also falls under that part of Article 6 where it says that the treaties are the supreme law of the land. So if the treaty is the supreme law of the land, and we are Moors, then that is what we're supposed to be following. If we're not following that, then that means we are in violation, and that means that we are lawless. So I want to get a little bit into the treaty, because we are protected by the treaty. And again, in particular, the treaty is really specific. We just need to use it. If we're not using it and we're trying to use anything else, as far as ourselves are concerned, we're being lawless. We can use the Constitution, but that's for them. We need to evoke those laws for them, because that's their law. That's the highest law for them. Article 6 says, if any more shall bring citizens of the United States. Now, I'm just going into the language a little bit. If any more. This does not translate to the citizen of Morocco. This means exactly what it says, any more. Okay, we're not talking about the Kingdom of Morocco that started raising our flag that we've had for over 10,000 years. They started raising it in 1957. We're talking about any more, period. So the language is very clear. Then again, it starts talking about His Majesty. If any more shall bring citizens of the United States or their effects to His Majesty is broad. There were many Moorish kingdoms. That particular sultan, which translates to emperor in English, knew that he did not have jurisdiction over all of the kingdom. He knew that, but he knew that the law still applied. So, again, what's some more language in here? The citizens of America. The citizens of America is applicable to all of the American states. That's why we have the Organization of American States. They're not talking about the state of Pennsylvania, the state of New York. Like, come on now, we got to get our jurisprudence up. We need to read. You know, we need to be able to comprehend. So, in the treaty, there is no difference and there is no confusion as far as the parties are concerned. Let's talk about what the parties are. We already talked about the American states. The American states would be what? North America. That would include Canada. That would include what they politically and geographically call the United States. The United States of America, excuse me, because the United States of America is the Confederation. The United States is the corporate, whatever, their government. It would be the Moors. And again, I'm saying any Moors. The word Moor is not a citizenship term, King Noble. You know, all y'all out there that want to be like, what is the Moorish country? Stop playing. The word Moor is not a citizenship term. Again, you know, Moors created countries and not vice versa. A lot of nation states that we know today, they're corporate knockoffs of stuff that we originated. Spain is a corporate knockoff of our Marrakesh kingdom. So, like, we got to recognize, we need to start hitting these history books. We need to aboriginalize the language. And when it says Africa, we need to start figuring, at that time, what was the treaty that applied to that? Where was the money being moved? What was the commerce that was engaged in? Who were the allies and whatnot? And figure out who we were. And I think it was Chancellor Williams, I had just put this up, he was just like, Moors, you know, they took away that name from us. And they tried to apply it just to the Berbers and whatnot. Like, we got to fight for that. Don't let anybody tell us that we're otherwise. Because you know what? When they want to say that we black and we African and they just want to forget all that language and whatnot, to hell with that. Because they taken our status away. And I ain't worked this hard to still be a slave. So, back to the treaty. The American states, we got the United States, we got the United States of America, which is the Confederation. We got the Moors, any Moors. We got the Christian powers, and we got the Muslim powers. Let's go to Article 21 in the treaty. I wish I knew this by heart. If any citizen of the United States shall kill or wound a Moor, or on the contrary, or if a Moor shall kill or wound a citizen of the United States, the law of the country shall take place, and equal justice shall be rendered. The consul assisting at the trial, and if any delinquent shall make his escape, the consul shall not be answerable for him in any manner whatever. Where's our consuls at? Where's our tribunals at? Where are our courts at? Noble Drew Ali said to keep your business out of their courts. Like, what are we doing? Why are we in the courts in the first place? You know why? Because we still got these U.S. citizenships. We got dual citizenships. We need to stop playing. Article 22. And if American citizen, what's an American citizen? They just said a citizen of the United States. Now they're talking about an American citizen. If an American citizen shall die in our country, and no will shall appear, the consul shall take possession of high effects. And if there shall be no consul, the effects shall be deposited in the hands of some person worthy of trust until the party shall appear who has right to demand them. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just trying to show you the language and who the parties are and how how this matters today. Article 23, the consuls of the United States of America, here we go with the language, shall reside in any port of our dominions that they shall think proper, and they shall be what? Respected. Get out my face asking me for a driver's license, registration, and insurance. You know, like, we need to be respected. This is my signal pass. As a matter of fact, you have a hard time reading, officer? My signal pass is that I have a Moorish tag on the back of my car. That's my flag. All y'all who say you Moorish American, you got a state of entity, registration. You got a state of entity tag. That's your signal pass. You a United States of American citizen. Get out of here with that dual citizenship.